When we pray together, when we hold hands, when we face one another, it's a time of showing that we really care about the relationship. And then another issue I'd love to cover is that of communication. For us as women, especially myself, I'm a very emotional woman, and sometimes my feelings really get a hold of me. And yet, when I communicate to my husband, we have learned a technique that is very, very helpful. I'll say, Gary, I need sympathy, not a solution in this situation. It could be that we are misunderstanding one another around a parenting issue, a financial issue, a decision issue, or a major decision for our business or for our personal lives. If I escalate with my husband, then oftentimes he won't hear me. If I take his hand quietly and say, Gary, I need sympathy, he knows I need a tender heart. When he knows I say, Gary, we need a solution, we can be all business. So sympathy or solution is very helpful to a husband.
And Barb, sometimes I get that a little bit confused, I got to admit, because there are times when I know exactly what to do, and we could short circuit this whole discussion and get right at the solution. But you know what, guys? That's when we make an error. That's when we are not going back to the basics of Marriage 101. That's when we really skip over the important aspect of showing empathy and compassion and love. And yet when we do connect emotionally and we have listened to each other, we've honored one another, that's when we resolve the conflict. And when we resolve the conflict, we make decisions about what we're going to do differently. And many times what will happen with opening and closing the loop is a husband will go from an offense to anger to wanting to resolve the conflict before you've connected to God vertically and then connected to your mate horizontally. And so that's why it's so important before you decide what are you going to do to resolve this conflict, you need to listen to God and you need to listen to one another.